So I don't know if everybody can see the screen here. If you can't, and you're on Facebook or Twitter, you've probably seen this posted. A couple of fellas looking out from the tube. He's not in there. And then looking at the iPad, oh wait, he's changed his status to risen. You know, if only John and Peter and Mary had had Facebook, then they would have understood the resurrection. They could have considered the source, you see, on his Facebook page that showed he was risen. How do we know what we know? How do we know what we believe? I find it very interesting the different sources of experiencing Jesus' resurrection we see here in these three characters: Mary Magdalene, the other disciple whom Jesus loved, who we believe is the author of the Gospel of John. So a lot of people call him John, the beloved disciple. And then, of course, Peter, who became the rock on whom Jesus' church was built. But here in this very early Easter story, we have three very different responses. If you're one of those people who kind of struggles with, you're not really sure whether you believe in Easter or not, maybe you do, but maybe not exactly the way it's been taught to you, then you're in good company, because even on that very first Easter, we got three different people with three completely different responses to an empty tomb. We got Mary, who looks and sees that the stone is rolled away. There's no mention of her looking inside or anything. She just sees the stones rolled away and panic. She's gone. In hysteria. What's the first thing she assumes? They've stolen his body. You know anybody like that? I mean, they just make an assumption based on just that little bit of evidence. Haven't even looked inside. Well, somebody's stolen his body. She goes up, she's already started they've stolen his body. Now, Peter and John said, well, we'll go take a look for ourselves. So they go. And John gets there first, and he sees the linen wrappings, but he doesn't go in. Peter comes, and he looks in, and he sees not just the linen wrappings, but he also sees the headcloth over here. So now, he just kind of looks, but there's no, hey, Jesus is risen from the dead, go quickly tell the disciples, none of that. He doesn't start lining up people to follow him and start his church right then. As a matter of fact, he doesn't say anything at all. And apparently he doesn't do anything at all except go home. If the gospel had ended there, you and I wouldn't be here. Peter's unsure of what has happened. And as a result, he's unsure what to say or do. So he doesn't say anything, and he doesn't do anything. Mary's sure what has happened, even though she has no proof. And she goes off to tell everybody Jesus' body's been stolen. She knows exactly what to say and exactly what to do, but of course, it's not the truth. Some might say that was fake news. Or an alternative fact. And then we have this beloved disciple who sees the same thing that they saw, that Mary saw and Peter saw. He sees the stone rolled away, he sees the linen wrappings. And we're told that he goes inside finally, and that once he's inside, he sees and he believes. But then we have this really interesting parenthetical statement, which I have a feeling that Jesus did not say parenthetically. But the author of the Gospel of John parenthetically tells us that they did not yet understand the Scripture, that it was necessary that he rise from the dead. And I have to tell you, I've been chewing on this one all week. If he believed, then how did he not understand the Scripture? I mean, you'd think that if he believed, he understood the Scripture. So what's going on here? Well, as a matter of fact, it's very interesting to me that the words here for seeing and knowing are similar, but different. Mary sees, in Greek, blepo, she physically sees the stone roll away. Peter physically sees, blepo, in Greek, the linen wrappings. But then when he goes inside, he theoretos. Now, in Greek, that's a little different than just seeing. It brings a new dimension to it. It's the idea that he's beginning to perceive or understand. He's starting to ponder what's going on. And then, when the beloved disciple gets in there, he adons. Now, this probably doesn't matter much to you, but because I have taken Greek and I suffered many semesters of suffering, I have to tell you that part of that suffering is there's this word, oido, that means to know. And there's this other word, ido, which means to see or to perceive, to have like an insight. And so as you can you already tell how these words are pretty similar? Like, to see, like, oh, I see. Oh, I understand. I know. To the point that when I looked up Ado, because the beloved disciple Adoed, the first sense of that word is no. So, this is just Benny Braddock's Gospel according to Benny Braddock on Easter Sunday 2017. I really don't think the disciples saw and believed like seeing is believing. If that were the case, he wouldn't have said, for they didn't yet understand the Scriptures. I think it was just like this, and I think you know what I'm talking about. He saw that empty tomb, and he knew it. He knew it! He knew that death wasn't going to be the end. Have you ever been in a situation in your life when you just thought, oh my God, I don't know how I'm going to survive this. I don't know how I'm going to come through this, but I'm just going to have faith that God is going to somehow take care of me, and I'm going to make it on the other side. Have you ever been there? Have you been there? Amen. Amen. All right, just want to be sure you're awake. And what, you know, you can't tell anybody how you're going to make it. You sure can't tell yourself how you're going to make it. You just know. You just know. You just know. Because you're going to walk by faith, not by sight. You see, this beautiful song that Tom found for our choir to sing this morning is actually based on the whole John chapter 20 account of the resurrection, in particular the part about Thomas. Remember Thomas? We'll talk about him later in Easter. He's the one who's like, I'm not going to believe unless I put my fingers in and touch and see. But remember what John, the beloved disciple, who's the author of this book, says? Blessed are those who believe what? Without seeing. That song was written for all of us people who were not there at the very beginning and are not sure that even if the Scripture said so, or even if 2,000 years of church tradition and creeds and history says we ought to believe it, we're not ready to sacrifice our intellect at the altar of history and tradition. But I tell you what, you tell me that faith in Jesus Christ is not a proposition to be believed, but it is a relationship to be experienced. I truly believe with John, the beloved disciple, the reason he knew is that he knew this to be the character of God. God who created the universe. God who sustained Israel through 400 years of slavery. God who, though Moses did not enter the promised land, took care of Moses. God who took Elijah up into heaven by a fiery chariot. See, this is not new that God has taken care of God's beloved. And God had promised that David's kingdom would not come to an end. That David's son would continue to rule. And John knew that promise to be true. He knew the character of his God. He knew that God would not let God's anointed see corruption. He knew that death would not be the final word where God is concerned. God, the creator of life, the sustainer would bring life even when there is no evidence of life. John knew. He believed. And my friends, I say to you, when you get to these places in your life, these moments when you look and everything that you see is contrary to how you thought it was going to be, I hope you can remember the beloved disciple. And I hope you can know and believe that God does indeed bring life out of that which is dead. Know and believe.